Football. I'm Hallie Jackson. For all of us, thanks for watching and have a great holiday week.
KUAM TV8, home of the Milan Cortina Olympics. Coverage begins February 6th, 2026. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
On KUAM News Primetime.
A Sunday morning crash claims the life of a mother and her 1-year-old. A 23-year-old man is arrested in connection to the crash in Dededo.
No doctors at the table for what was supposed to be a constructive discussion on a bill to reform Guam's medical malpractice law. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with more from the roundtable hearing. Nearly 200 students earned their degrees from the University of Guam. More from the Fanutsana 2025 commencement ceremony coming up. Hafaday and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Thanks for starting your week off with us. Guam police have arrested a 23-year-old Dededo man in connection with a deadly two-car crash that claimed the lives of a mother and her 1-year-old daughter. Authorities say John Mariano Moses is facing multiple charges, including 2 counts of vehicular homicide, leaving the scene of a crash with injuries, imprudent driving, speeding, and driving without a license. The crash happened just after 6 Sunday morning at the intersection of Route 1 and South Henry Kaiser in Dededo. Police say Moses fled the scene on foot before officers arrived, while the victims were rushed to Guam Regional Medical City. 30-year-old Charity Mina Berry and her daughter Mina Reen Imi were later pronounced dead. They are Guam's 20th and 21st traffic fatalities this year. Investigators say Moses turned himself in later that afternoon and was booked into the Department of Corrections. Speed and impaired driving are being considered as possible factors. Guam police extended their condolences to the victim's family and loved ones. The debate on medical malpractice reform sidelined after only one person showed up for a roundtable hearing on Friday. Bill author Senator Will Parkinson voiced his disappointment with the absent medical community, saying victims of malpractice deserve to have their right to a trial protected. Mitsuki Hirayama reports. What was supposed to be a discussion on medical malpractice reform instead a disappointment for Senator Will Parkinson.
I'm very disappointed that the medical community didn't show up today because they are clamoring for an open dialogue or roundtable where here we are.
Only one person from the public showed up to Friday's roundtable for his Bill 82, known as the quote, "Do Not Harm Anti-Medical Misconduct Act." Dededo resident Joseph Ariola came in support of the measure, but ultimately withheld his testimony.
Very disappointed that it's just the 4 of us here. What I have to say should be heard by more people.
Senator Sabrina Salas Montanani says some physicians reached out to her saying they were not invited to the roundtable.
Who did you invite to this roundtable?
We put out all the public notices and invited all members of the community to come.
Oh, just through a public notice?
Yeah.
Parkinson argues the public notice should have sufficed over a personal invitation.
This is a hot topic in our community. It's one of the most important topics. And you're telling me nobody in the medical community could deign to come down today without an invitation? I'm not sure I accept that reasoning, but I will make the effort again in the future. I will knock on the doctor's door and ask if they make house calls to public hearings that regard them.
Bill 82 aims to end mandatory arbitration in medical malpractice claims and replace it with a court-based system. Proponents argue arbitration is too expensive and slows justice for victims of malpractice. Meanwhile, the measure has faced criticism from the medical community, who warns it will destabilize the healthcare system and cause physicians to leave the island. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News. A mix of signatures and a veto from Adelup as Governor Lulian Guerrero approves multiple bills reshaping public safety, elections, veteran services, and education, while rejecting a measure she says raises concerns over long-term public land leases.
Governor Lulian Guerrero has signed a series of measures into law, advancing legislation affecting public safety, elections, veterans services, education, and government transparency, while vetoing one related to commercial lease extensions. Among the newly enacted laws is Public Law 38-81, which transfers land in PD to the Department of Parks and Recreation, expanding burial capacity at the Vicente A. Limtiaco Memorial Park, a move aimed at addressing the island's long-term cemetery needs. The governor also signed Public Law 38-83, strengthening penalties for third-degree criminal sexual conduct involving younger victims, creating an aggravated offense with significantly longer prison sentences. Several measures focus on elections and government accountability, including updates to Guam Elections Manual, campaign finance reporting rules, and voter registration timelines. Veterans Services also saw major changes under Public Law 38-90, which expands the authority of the Guam Veterans Commission and updates the legal definition of a veteran to align with federal standards. Educators with decades of service are now eligible for a lifetime teaching certificate under Public Law 38-91, aimed at retaining experienced teachers and encouraging retired educators to return to the classroom. However, the governor vetoed Bill 176-38, which would have allowed commercial tenants in good standing to extend public land leases. In her veto message, she cited concerns over inconsistent legislative oversight and the potential for long-term leases without competitive bidding. The remaining bills signed into law also address motor vehicle ownership transfers, driver's license validity for incoming residents, customs inspection facilities, and public notice requirements for government hiring. Jonagan Charfris, KUAM News.
And in other news, congratulations are in order for the University of Guam's newest alumni, 199 students earning their degrees during Sunday's 2025 Fanutanan commencement ceremony at the UOG Cabo Fieldhouse. Here's more. Years of hard work, determination, and passion came full circle Sunday at the University of Guam Cabo Fieldhouse as nearly 200 UOG students turned their tassels during the 2025 Fanutanan commencement ceremony. In total, 135 students earning their bachelor's degree, while 64 completed master's programs spanning education, healthcare, public administration, STEM, and business. Among the graduates was valedictorian and president of the 64th UOG Student Government Association, Kiana Ardiente, who reflected on her journey through the university, highlighting the importance of opening doors for first-generation students like herself. The ceremony also featuring powerful messages from other distinguished speakers, offering guidance to a room filled with the island's next movers and shakers. Pulitzer Prize-winning photojournalist and visual storyteller Manny Crisostomo delivering the commencement address, reminding graduates of the value of their voices and lived experiences.
Stories are important. You are important. And living your story honestly with whatever life throws at you will serve you. But by honoring your narrative and your dreams and your desires and your passion and your purpose may also be of service to others and affect and may improve life on this island. That's important. You're important.
Additionally, international human rights lawyer and author Julian Uggen was awarded an honorary Doctor of Laws degree, a milestone that the university says aligns with its commitment to justice, sustainability, and regional empowerment. President Trump has signed the fiscal year 2026 National Defense Authorization Act into law, a sweeping defense bill that includes multiple Guam-specific provisions secured by Congressman James Moylan through his work on the House Armed Services Committee. The law expands living quarters allowance coverage and authorizes retention bonuses of up to 50% of base pay for Department of Defense civilian employees stationed on Guam, aimed at strengthening workforce stability amid rising costs of living. It also requires greater transparency on Guam's missile defense posture, including a public summary of independent assessments, and restricts the removal of key missile defense assets without prior congressional notification. Additional provisions mandate advance notice to Guam leaders before any proposal involving a permanent nuclear reactor, expand flexibility for joint military utility infrastructure projects with the Guam Power Authority, and allow direct federal funding for projects like the Guam Cultural Repository. The legislation further directs reports on ship repair capacity and maritime workforce development and strengthens civilian-military coordination on projects affecting quality of life. Congressman Moylan says the measure is expected to generate approximately $1.2 billion in direct investments for Guam while reinforcing the island's strategic role in national defense. A major milestone for Guam's cultural preservation. For the first time, federal law explicitly authorizes the U.S. Department of Defense to provide operations and maintenance funding for the Guam Cultural Repository under the fiscal year 2026 NDAA. The provision recognizes the repository as critical infrastructure tied to the Marine Corps relocation and mandates federal support to handle cultural artifacts uncovered during military construction, relieving local taxpayers of the financial burden. Governor Lilian Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio credit years of advocacy and collaboration with U.S. Senator Brian Schatz for securing the language, ensuring Guam's cultural heritage is protected at the highest standard without draining local resources. Officials say the move affirms federal responsibility for mitigating the cultural impacts of military buildup on Guam and marks a long-sought victory for Chamorro heritage and history. Time for a quick break. You're watching KUAM.
All the Who's of Whoville were laughing and eating. The Grinch from his lair started plotting and scheming. He thought to himself, how can I ruin their holiday meals? They'll truly despise dill pickle seasoning on fries. They're all in for shocks when I stitch them odd socks. So if you want to experience the Grinch's new meal, you can head to McDonald's and show him how you feel. The new Grinch meal, now at McDonald's.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Anything's possible. I push to the limits. I climb every wall. I keep on believing. Anything's possible.
If there's one thing we've learned, it's never to underestimate the spirit and strength of the people of our island home. Which is why at Bank of Hawaii, you, your dreams, and your possibilities will always have a home. Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
Welcome back to Primetime. This holiday season, law enforcement agencies across Guam are stepping up efforts to keep impaired drivers off the road. A coordinated DUI enforcement campaign, Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over, is now underway, with increased patrols and sobriety checkpoints through the new year.
Friday morning at Adelup, Governor Lilian Guerrero put pen to paper to declare and proclaim Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over. This holiday season, federal, local, and territorial agencies are teaming up to send a clear message to drivers across Guam: drive sober or face the consequences. DPW Director Vince Ariola.
We have over 115,000 registered vehicles that travel our roadways every single day. Marine Drive is up to probably close to 40,000 vehicles a day, both northbound and southbound. So that's a heavy load, especially on Marine Drive. So once again, we ask the drivers, we can do everything we can. We've paved a lot of our roads. We're doing striping as we speak. We're doing marking. We're doing street lights. We're about to change out all the traffic signals to make them much safer. But the drivers, you have to do your part.
In a release from DPW's Office of Highway Safety, it stated, along with National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, they're partnering with Guam Police, Port Police, Airport Police, Parks and Recreation officers, and the Judiciary of Guam to crack down on impaired driving. From December 10th through January 1st, law enforcement officers will increase patrols and sobriety checkpoints in key locations island-wide. Drivers found under the influence of alcohol or drugs could face fines, license suspension, or arrests. According to Guam Police Highway Patrol data, alcohol-related crashes continue to be a serious concern. From January through November of this year, Guam recorded 19 traffic fatalities, 7 of them linked to alcohol or drugs. Officials stress the goal of the campaign is not just enforcement, but prevention, saving lives on Guam's roadways. Governor Leon Guerrero believes this is the key
to preventing fatalities in our road, to preventing accidents. That is the continuous community outreach, the continuous education of our to our people, starting from our high school, from our schools on to all the community stakeholders. Very much appreciative. I'm very much appreciative of the nonprofit organizations that are also out there helping our government with the community outreach to educate and prevent.
Drivers are urged to plan ahead if they intend to drink by designating a sober driver, using public transportation, or choosing a ride-sharing service. The reminder as the holiday celebrations continue: if you feel different, you drive different. Jonagan Charfris, KUAM News.
The island's roadways are busier than ever this holiday season, and a designated driver service is stepping in to help ensure everyone makes it home safely to their loved ones. Now in its 5th year, the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, in partnership with Togi Incorporated, is offering its annual Safe Drive Home program, available now through January 3rd. The free service operates from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. through December 23rd and from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. from December 24th through January 3rd. Each ride can accommodate up to 5 individuals. To request a Safe Drive Home driver, call 671-787-9276 or the Togi Warm line at 671-686-9276. In other news, Senator Sabina Flores-Perez says the public will now have more time to weigh in on how historic and cultural sites on military lands are protected. The Guam State Historic Preservation Officer has granted a 45-day extension to the public comment period for the draft programmatic agreement between Joint Region Marianas and SHPO. That brings the total review period to 75 days, with a new deadline of February 18, 2026. Senator Perez requested the extension, citing concerns that the original 30-day window did not allow enough time for meaningful public engagement. The agreement outlines how the Department of Defense will meet its obligations under the National Historic Preservation Act, including archaeological reviews, treatment of historic properties, procedures for inadvertent discoveries and human remains, and consultation with SHPO. Perez is urging cultural practitioners and community members to review the draft and submit comments to SHPO before the new deadline. Well, there was a ton of holiday shopping activity at GPO in Tamuning as Junior Achievement Guam hosted Festive Finds, an event with over 40 pop-up vendors making everything from clothing to makeup and jewelry, ornaments, cutlery, games, and much more. And to get those gifts in perfect order for placement in stockings or under the tree, there's a bunch of schools, clubs, and groups happily wrapping your purchases.
What is the #1 question people are asking you about your product?
So they're asking, like, why did we decide on these pencils? So to answer that, we decided to find out, like, what the problem on Guam is, which is trash, and we wanted to repurpose them into making pencils.
There you go. We got to take care of our island because she's the only one we have, right?
Exactly.
All right, I got my friends from Irencia here. Okay, and we also have a tagline, who are you, Nenny Boo? All right. How'd you guys come up with that tagline? That's very clever.
So our product is actually Nenny Boos, which are these adorable plushy keychains that are inspired by Guam animals. and each one comes in a blind box, so everyone is a fun new surprise, and that's exactly where our slogan came from.
And how are your mentors and everything? How are they helping you guys out? Like, what advice are they giving you?
So advice-wise, of course, they're guiding us on how to be entrepreneurs, but in ways that they help us more physically. Like just showing up is also a good thing, and also giving like constructive criticism on our presentations, how we speak.
There you go.
You know, projection-wise, so we can be better when we're talking to our customers.
Okay, which of these wonderful animals of Guam, and you've got so many, which is the #1 seller right now?
#1 seller would be the deer.
The deer? Okay. Hello, little Benadu. I think I saw you running outside my house a few months ago, but you know, no shame. That's cool.
Yes, and some like.
I would have bet on the carabao, but that's interesting. Are you guys surprised with the fact that the deer is the most popular?
Honestly, yes.
Okay. As you guys are working hard at these wonderful creations that you made, so tell me all about it.
Okay, so we are Coney, which means caught in Chamorro, and it is a Chamorro-inspired card game.
Yes, ma'am.
And so here's some examples of our cards. There's one icon on every card that matches, and we have all our icons here on our instruction sheet.
Okay.
We have 57 different icons. They're all hand-drawn by student artists. And they're translated, I don't know if you can see, but they're translated into Chamorro, Japanese, and Korean.
Nice.
And so it really gets people more familiar with the Chamorro language.
That's
and
true.
Using that in everyday life. And then we also have we call them the Fiesta games, which is a fun twist on the regular way to play and more local. And then today we have a special Christmas promo. If you buy a deck, you get a free bracelet. Isla Charms did this, and this was a great collaboration with them.
Okay, so you guys are also learning the business lesson of being able to partner up.
Yes.
Very cool.
It was actually great working with them.
Now for a look at your world at home. Here's a festive view of the Christmas Carabao showcased during Guam's holiday parade in Hagåtña.
This holiday season, the magic is near. In every aisle, it's crystal clear. From decor that dazzles, to toys that bring joy, to sweet little treats for each girl and boy. Lights that sparkle, gifts from the heart, it all comes together at Kmart.
KFC. Celebrate the holidays with KFC Hot and Spicy Chicken and Honey Hot Wings Holiday Feast.
Bringing back our best ones through the years.
All that deliciousness for just $39.95.
KFC, it's finger licking good.
Sometimes parenting can be hard. What should I be doing? The Guam Early Learning Council includes partners who can provide you with early childhood services and supports. We are here to assist. For resources and information, simply call 311 Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., excluding holidays. Early connection can change everything.
Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby! Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby!
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill. What's for lunch and for dinner? You want something good? Yeah. Jamaican grill. Yeah, man, serious food.
Merry Christmas, Guam. Plates, platters, and parties at your house are ours. Yeah, man. Gift certificates and jerk seasoning for Christmas presents as well.
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! Credit applied. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Better Together, Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas, and the Guam Army National Guard. Live here, serve here.
I hope you didn't mind a little rain today, everybody, but you know, it was a great day to stay in and watch football, and I hope that you did because we had some really good games today. You know what? The sun will be shining, and even if it's not, Fresco Fest is going to happen. My friends at Fresco always bring the positivity, they bring the island vibes, and they have this amazing event that's going up. Licky Jordy and 3+. Make sure to check it out. You can get your tickets online now at frescoclothing.com or at Jamaican Grill. Also, any of these fine sponsors. It can be at Epau Beach Park, where there is never a bad seat in the entire house, all over the park. Absolutely amazing. All right, Tea Time with Academy is coming up, and the holidays are about family. The holidays are about seeing old friends. And that's exactly what the sisterhood is at the Academy of Our Lady of Guam. Cougars from all generations, 76 years that the Catholic school has been graduating young women. And you've got Tea Time coming up, everybody, on the 17th. So about 2 weeks and change into the new year, you will be able to have tea with your sisters. The forensics camp is coming up too, and this is very, very important because a very big part of the sciences is forensics, and GPD has, you know, that forensics lab. I've been able to go up there and do stories there is some really interesting science and tech that's going on there, right? Make sure to check it out, because if you would like to be part of this camp and see what goes into crime solving, investigations, and using really cutting-edge scientific techniques to make sure that crimes are solved, make sure to sign up for the forensic camp. And we got games of the week this week. Heading into the holidays, you know, Christmas basketball is always a really big thing, even leading up to Christmas, right? And we got 2 for you on Wednesday, the Nuggets and the Mavs, and the Rockets and the Clips. All right, birthday time.
Happy birthday to Roland Vince Perez, and a shout out to my nephew. A happy birthday, and we love and miss you from your family in Florida. A very, very nice. Hey, sunshine to sunshine. Gotta love that. Birthday love all over the world. And a very happy birthday to one of our own here at KUAM, Sean Miles. Sean, man, you bring the laughter, you bring the Star Wars love, you bring the 80s. Love talking about movies with you, my friend. Have an absolutely wonderful, wonderful birthday. Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com.
Happy birthday, Sean. I hope you had a great day. And that's your Primetime Show. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Have a great evening and stay safe.
All right, well, it's been a year.
Oh, wow.
It's what? It's December now?
Yes.
So we should do a year in review?
Yes.
And thank yous.
Yes.
And happy holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, thank you to the KUAM team for having us.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, who started it all was Nick Delgado, Peter Anderson,
Yes.
Jonathan
Both veterans.
Charvers. Yes.
And then
They were the first podcast that we had, right?
yes, and Joan
All
also is married to a
veteran?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a lot of veteran connection.
And then our producer, Jake Sablon.
Yes.
And then our former producer, Jen Chargala, right? She
Yes,
started with
very
us.
nice, uh-huh.
So, you know, thank you to the whole KUAM team and for everyone watching Veterans with Benefits podcast. And, you know, we never have enough time to talk about everything, but we do want to talk about, you know, the whole year and 2026.
Oh, and if it weren't for Joe letting us in the front door.
Oh, yes. Joe, always opening the door.
Yeah, so thank you, Joe.
Joe here at KUAM.
Yes.
And then also happy holidays.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving with family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then also Christmas coming up.
Yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year
Mm-hmm.
to everyone.
Yes. So 2025 for veterans here in Guam. Locally, it was proclaimed Year of the Veteran Count and Registry.
Uh-huh.
Because, you know, we have different numbers, right? We have the local number, which has always been somewhere around 20,000, 24,000, 25,000. The CBOC number, which is hovering around 6,000. And then the Veterans Benefits number is around, what was that, 11 or 10?
Gosh.
1,000 here on Guam?
One was 9, one was 11. Mm-hmm. Very different.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think they also use some of the
DHA.
census.
The census. Okay.
Yeah, so the DHA is the most relevant that we've got,
Mm-hmm.
and that came from the Congressman's office and their staff. Of course, that was also, you know, put together by a lot of great folks in different entities, like the Joint Micronesian Task Force, right? You know, we had some good folks there. I think that's Admiral Lasky, right, and their group. Mm-hmm. Really good, effective folks down on the ground, you know. So a lot of his good team effort there, trying to take care of all the people here on the island and in the region. So in Micronesia, right? So good folks there, you know, listening and getting out there, trying to take care of all the things that we need for our veterans.
And then we also there was a lot of outreach events.
Oh, but what was the number, by the way?
What number?
Because weren't we talking about the number from, you mentioned DHA, Year of the Veteran Count and Registry?
What do you mean, what number?
Did they ever give us a good number?
Oh, I think it was 20,000.
Yeah, 20,000 plus was the number. And that number came out during our symposium that we had up at UOG in collaboration with
Right, the
UOG
congressman
and all our folks.
gave us that number.
Yep, that came from
Yes.
his staff.
Mhm.
But we do know that a lot of folks are working on that, reaching out to all our different sources, trying to come up with that number. And the number came from DHA, right?
Right.
Department of
Health Administration.
Okay, very good. And that's good. So that's one of the things that we accomplished, right? Of course, that came out of the task force. It was a request from General Benny Polino to pay attention and get those things going. So thank you to the General and to Tom Atta, who was actually kind of the lead on taking the task of, doing a lot of these different projects. So good job on both of them.
So moving on, we did a lot of outreach events, which is needed for veterans, right? Because a lot of veterans don't know what services or benefits are available to them.
Right.
So outreach is important. And I think that's one of the things that, was highlighted in, the different events that we'll talk about coming up. But a lot of outreaches.
Yeah, the OPA report, I think, mentioned that.
Right,
but
yes.
So what outreach did we do?
So
we had the monthly...
We had the Quality of Life Expo.
Okay.
And that's happening every year. And that's sponsored by, I think it was MWR.
Sounds about right.
J9? Oh my gosh, I'm going to get it wrong.
Yeah, I think it's J9.
So, because that was so long ago. Gosh, I think it was in February?
I think that would have been our
AUOG?
second or third one.
Yes. AUOG?
Yeah, right, yes.
So that Quality of Life Expo, that brought local veterans and active duty. So it really is catered towards active duty. So when you talk to active duty and you say, are you a veteran? A lot of them think, oh no, I'm not a veteran because I'm still in. You're a veteran. As long as you raise your right hand and you are going to get a DD-214, you're a veteran. So there are things that we talk to the veterans about, the active duty about, once you're about to separate or retire, you should really come to one of the benefit boot camps, right? Because there are a lot of things you can be doing now to get ready to file your VA claim.
That's right.
GU Self Storage, located in Harmon next to McDonald's, offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $95 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, Plines hand trucks, and pallet jack, with a fully covered loading and unloading areas and ADA accessible units. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance monitoring, alarm, and individual pin-coded gate and door access, because your safety is our priority. GU Self Storage, voted Pika's Best in 2024. Call 671-648-7867 today.
I thought you worked in his house.
Oh, I'm wherever he needs to fuel up. Oh, Cantina chicken burrito.
Thanks, Todd.
That's the way to do it.
You know what? Let me actually get something to wash that down with, please.
Yeah, I got you.
Easy. Appreciate it.
You've made a powerful enemy, Todd.
I didn't mean.
For a lot of those that are listening out there, right, there's been things we used to do in the old days where, we suck it up. We don't go to sick call. If you go to sick call, you're weak, and there's, I think, a movement in the military to kind of get the service members, to be a little bit more like the special ops groups, where they train really, really hard, and when they get injured, they get the best quality of care to patch them up and get them back into regular work again. So by doing that, I think it really does a benefit to all of our service members, because one, they don't have to hide that injury and it doesn't get worse over time. And now that it's recorded, now, they don't have to be afraid, because it's taking an injury and it makes them get the needed care so that they now can, operate and function at the highest level that they're expected to function at. And it doesn't put the the burden of trying to treat and care for these veterans once they get out of service. And these are some of the things we do when we go to a lot of the active duty places. We talk to them about, hey, you know, we understand that a lot of the youngsters, right, you know, they're trying to get some time off. I mean, you know, or get some slack, right, somewhere, anywhere they can. But one of the things we have to do is be sure to also, you know, make sure that they're getting cared for, treated, and operating at 100%, because you want that when they're being deployed to combat or any of their missions. What we don't want is for them to be holding it, hiding it, trying to get through, and after they get out of service, you know, their service is not going so well because they have these injuries that in years past, if you told somebody you had an injury, they immediately start paperwork to get you out of the service. And for many of the folks, especially here on this island, right, it's a job that they want and they need to care for their family. And what we don't want is we push them out of the Guard and Reserve or even the active duty, and we in the federal government damage them. More importantly, we send them off to combat and they come back and we do our best, but they still fall through the cracks. The problem with that is you got to do a little bit more than just try. You really got to pay attention to them because they're under your care. You don't just get these men and women and you use them and then you spit them out at the end of their enlistment and expect that the government of Guam's GMH is going to take care of them and they're going to fall, you know, into the system. So we don't want that. If you are in the service, your Department of Defense or Department of War today, it is your duty to take care of these people, care for them, and do everything in your power to take care of them. You have more money than the government of Guam, and we should be embarrassed if we're pushing these people out of the Guard and Reserve without running them through a system that will tell us that we've done everything that we could. No, you don't get to just sign off and force them to, hey, you signed this, and no, we can't re-enlist you, and, you know, because you don't want to do paperwork. Come on, guys, do your job. If you pick these guys up and they're in the service, take care of them and do everything you can. The same way you brought them on should be the same way you send them back out to us. If they're damaged, you fix them or you do the best you can. Medical, retirement, whatever it might be. So you folks got to take care of that.
I think the problem with that is a lot of our local military leaders don't know what the process is. And that's not an excuse, especially for the Guard and Reserve.
And they get paid to run that. If you're at AGR and you're supposed to be taking care of these service members, I'm sorry. You know, trying to get to lunch is a whole different thing because Mali and Pari are calling you to go eat, right? No, 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 no. Take care of your job first. Fix those people. It is your responsibility. NCOs, non-commissioned officers, that is your job. In the old days, I used to go to people's homes and check what their living was like with their family members. You know, are they living okay? Do you know, is the house clean? Are the kids okay? How's the spouse doing? Those were jobs that I did as a E4 in the Army. And I'm like, if I had to do that and you're not doing that today, maybe you need to start checking whether or not you know who your soldiers are or who your service members are. Because if you can't take care of the home front, what makes you think he's going to be doing well out in the battlefield? So those are just some things we really got to take care of. So we got to get back to those things. And I know a lot of our older folks, they know these things. Now, if the ones that are subordinate to you aren't doing their job or if they're taking advantage, you got the power to do something to them. Get them in there, run them through the test. If they say no, say, well, if you say no, you got to make sure, because we don't want to hear that guy from, you know, Veterans with Benefits on the podcast calling out the leadership, right?
But sometimes we have to, because that's where things will change.
And they need to tell us, hey, no, we ran these guys through. Here's the letter. Because we've seen letters from the past where they were trying to force them out. They made it a point to get them out of the service. Why? Because they get them out of their hair. I'm sorry. The last time I checked, the federal government has more money than the government of Guam.
And it was easier to get them out because guess what that does? It frees up a slot.
Exactly.
But they forget about that member's 12 years that they did, the 2 years that they deployed to Iraq or Afghanistan. And they came back and they're broken. Take care of them.
And it's not like it's just an easy downhill, oh, I'll turn in my VA claims because of this, and they'll just hand me all these benefits, and life is just going to be wonderful. It doesn't work that way. So if you're active duty or AGR or in any of the services, if you get hurt, you got to go report it. I'm sorry. And from now on, you know, that's the thing we should be doing. You hurt them and they're in the service, you fix them and return them. Don't return them back to the community and expect the community to take care of a problem that you created and not addressed on the way out. That is your responsibility. You'll have more money. And you as service members, you got to do your part as well.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
The next thing that happened was the summit up at Anderson. So that was geared towards active duty. So active duty.
Well, and veterans too, right?
Yes. Well, yes, veterans, but mostly those up at Anderson because, or Navy, or if you have access to the base.
Yes.
Because a lot of veterans who only served 4 years and they, separated, they don't have any way to get on the base. So we had it on Anderson, and then we did that in partnership with West Care, Wounded Warrior, and also with MWR.
That's correct. That's Ed Biakin over there.
Right.
They kind of put that together, and they have a lot of services up there. So, Ed, if you're listening, thank you for all you do, and you and your team up there. And you still got to see me. You can't avoid my phone calls all the time. I know you're a busy man.
And that was the Veteran Summit. Oh,
Yeah.
but before that, didn't the convention happen around that time?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What
we
month
did.
was the convention?
I want to say it
forgot.
was it February?
I think around the same time, right?
It was January or February. It was early.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. It was a good effort. Feedback on the event. It could have been more crowded. It could have been more veterans, especially since it was paid by the government.
Right.
The legislature allocated money to the GOVA office, so the Guam Office of Veteran Affairs, to hold this event. But there were many, many empty seats.
And what we got to do is we got to really work on that, right? And when we talk about that, right, so we've already reached out through HMI to really talk with the director and his folks over there. Maybe we can join these two events together, right? And hopefully do more of what we've been doing where, we worked with MWR, we worked with West Care on the summit, right? And we got to continue to do this because that's the only way that we can continue to bring our veteran organizations together is by collaborating and working together. So,
well, let's hope that becomes a good event for
well, we'll see.
2026.
I mean, they've already been contacted, so we're going to keep pushing on our end for what we need to do for our summit. And by the way, the summit was given birth to because of the symposium. We had our 4th symposium this year.
Yes.
And at the 3rd symposium, the veterans were saying we need more, so that gave birth to the summit. And that's where we're at with that. So the summit will be taking place in the beginning of the year. A lot of good things going on there. Hopefully, before that, we've already pushed out the proclamation, right? And if that proclamation goes out, do you want to tell them what the proclamation is going to be for this year? I mean, next year?
Oh, no, we can wait towards the end.
Towards the end? All right. So what's next?
So the next is a fundraiser event. So there was a veteran golf fundraiser.
Okay.
And that was headed by Norma
Castellan
and Bob Kelly.
Yeah, she's over at Chugash, and she's a veteran, right? Bob Kelly, also a veteran. MSC, I think, is his company.
Yes.
So they're both veterans, and they took lead on that. So it's another way that HMI and our veterans organizations are trying to bring other organizations together to to really promote that. And that's part of what the year was about, right? Was trying to get more veterans involved and, coordinating these different events that we have so that we get more participation from not just veterans, but other organizations to come on board.
And then the next event was the Women Veteran event. So that's the women, recognition of women in the military because they weren't allowed to join the military or have certain combat roles.
Yeah.
So that was changed, and that's something that is celebrated every year. So the Women Veteran event. So we had a guest speaker, we had a luncheon for women veterans, we did activities, we had raffle prizes.
So men aren't invited to that, are they?
They can come, but it's geared towards women.
Oh my gosh, hence the name, right?
Yes.
Do we have a men's veteran event?
Male veterans always complain about that.
Okay.
But no, women veteran event.
We got to look at that.
And then after that was a huge event, the Veteran Symposium, the 4th annual Veteran Symposium at UOG. Thank you to the staff at UOG. And then
President, right?
Yes.
The president early on, we met her at the same conference?
The same conference.
Oh, by the way, we went to the same, was that this year, the same conference?
No, that was last year.
Was last year? Latter part?
Yeah, November.
Okay, so when we went to the same conference, we bumped into the president,
Yes.
President Anita Enriquez,
Yes.
and she said, you guys come up and we'll do the symposium.
Lecture hall.
Yes, so we were forced to use that place. It was great. And then who got to speak?
One of the professors.
The deans, yeah.
Yes, one of the deans.
Oh man, you didn't have her name, huh?
I know.
You're gonna get in trouble.
There's so many.
Yes.
There's so many people to
Well,
thank.
Okay.
So thank you to UOG, staff at UOG, and then leading that from the HMI organization was Mary Uggan, Tom Atta,
Yes.
Edith Mesa, Frank and Chris Tadegui, Joe Ramos.
Yeah.
And then the food was provided by veteran-owned Dugout.
Yes, that's right.
The food was delicious.
Another collaboration where we try to get other, I think they did the food also for the golf tournament.
Oh, they did. Yes, they did do.
That's
yes.
right. So it's a veteran that was doing that as well.
Right. And then another big thing that came out was the OPA report about.
We don't have any more events to talk about?
Well, we're still.
Oh, okay,
we're
go
still
ahead. We'll do the
going,
OPA, okay.
The next thing was the OPA report, and that was, that was huge because it was 40-some pages of, findings on the Guam Office of Veteran Affairs down in Assen. So even though, the nonprofit organization HMI started Year of the Veteran Count and Registry, the GOVA office has only registered 2,197 veterans from 2017 to today, to 2025.
Yeah. And so, I guess this might be a good time to plug Eddie Regis, right? Eddie Regis and his nonprofit. By the way, Eddie Regis is a veteran. I'm getting tired of recognizing all these veterans on this island, but it looks like these guys continue to serve, even after they've gotten out of service. And I think it's just in our blood and in our, the way we've been trained. So the whole idea behind that was Eddie Regis many years ago had done some things with his nonprofit of disabled folks to try to help down at the cemetery. And I think he still continues to do that. And we really appreciate that kind of effort, and he continues to look at more ways to take care of doing the things that we do for our veterans. So I'm just saying that he's working, I think, with the director and some things. So again, right, just really good things happening around, all the efforts that, our veterans are looking at. We could call out all the problems all day long. Anybody can do that, right? this is bad, this is not working, this is not supposed to be this way, but to really sit down and really take action, to do something, right? To, if there's no outreach, you know, have you gone to the villages and done outreach? Have you guys done that?
Yes.
Oh yeah? What do you guys do?
Go to the villages where the veterans are, and that's something that leaders need to know.
Right.
You have to go where the veterans are. You can't just come here once a quarter
Yeah.
and set up in the mall and expect all the veterans to come to you.
Right, and they said it every 3 months they do that, right? And that's the Hawaii office doing that you're mentioning, right? And I think a lot of times they get together with the GOVA office, right? So that being said, right, there's also what we do as HMI, right? Every month we go out and we go to different villages, thanks to all our mayors out there that have provided us a space and, you know, actually helped us with a lot of that. Most of the things that we're doing, for those of you that are leaders out there that are listening, okay, most of this work that's being done by HMI and the different efforts that we have are efforts that are being done through veterans, right? Veterans are donating to this effort, right? So they donate to the nonprofit. HMI is a 501c3. Yes, we can ask for donations. So if somebody out there is trying to twist your mind, telling you that we can't ask for donations, yes, we can, right? We can solicit for different things to help us with trying to take care of the different things that we're doing, like our outreaches. So that's where we get help. We also get help from our business supporters. Folks like Ambrose usually provide us drinks, right? So that's also something that, you know, we have to really be thankful for. So let's go back to the OPA report,
Yes.
right? So on the report also, right, so we look at it as an opportunity, right, to improve, right? We find ways to look at the things that are being said that, you know, need improvement. And as we've been saying, if we're going to wait for somebody to come and help us, right, we're going to be waiting a long time. And what we need to be doing is to work together. No, that's just not a catchphrase. That's just not saying it. The actions have to be there. When we talk about coming together, we talk about the things that we've been doing this year by inviting other veterans and veterans organizations and working together to get them to do these things. So that's going to help us a long way to get past the deficiencies that we might be having and start improving on that by working together.
So let's move on to the next thing, was the 5K, the Veteran 5K. That was headed up with United for Veterans. Thank you to Tammy Castro, Benny Barcinas, Tiana Guerrero, Terry Quabo at the Guam Cancer Care. That was a very, very successful 4th annual Veteran 5K. Thank you to Guam Running Club.
Yes, all veterans, all different entities that, again, HMI is bringing together and helping our veterans to see that if we work together, there isn't anything that we can't do. We can do just about anything. And this is going to continue to grow, and it's going to be something that we want to do. So thank you to those guys for helping us with that.
And the 75-inch TV that was won, it was won by the nonprofit organization that organizes the outreach part for the Operation Christmas Drop. So they actually won the TV, and they're going to re-raffle it off at their 5K to raise more funds.
Okay.
Then was the 3rd annual Veterans Gala at Dusit. Thank you to Rob Jackson and Charlie Hermosa for heading that up. That was another great event. Thank you to our guest speaker, which was Tom Atta. We all didn't know he was a comedian. And then thank you to Frank Rios, our actual comedian. So that was a really good event. And we hope that 2026, which we hope will be proclaimed Year of the Veteran Services. What that means is that is all the services for the veterans available on the island, which would be the Congressman's office, the GOVA office, the vet center, medical services for veterans, whether that's at the CBOC or the Naval Hospital or in the community, and all the other services that come along with being a veteran. So hopefully that's what we plan to.
Yeah, so I guess we got to wrap up. So we want to say thank you to KUAM, all the staff here, our good help here from my primo Jake. Jonah Gontarfris, Joe